Hi everybody, Phil here with Sarros Landscaping, and it's been a while since I made a video, so I wanted to take you on a walkthrough of one of our most recent projects. It is not the swimming pool. We were not the swimming pool installation company, but there's a few important details about this pool that I do want to show you. This was done on a little bit of a budget, so I want to make a few comments about how the property was when we showed up. We were brought in at the end just to do very simple landscaping, just add sod, clean up the yard, and clean up and prepare some of the beds for future installation of plant material that they're not going to do right now. When we got here though, the dirt was full of debris and stones and leftover pieces of pavers and retaining wall blocks, and that was all throughout this natural area back here. So one thing that we had to do is get the machine back here, and we really had to grade around the trees. I know this sometimes is a very overlooked part of a landscaping project, is dirt that gets piled up onto trees, and landscapers in general, and myself included from time to time, tend to just take it lightly, like, oh, it's no big deal. That you can see on this tree, dirt's piled up to, well, let's see, was piled up to about here. This is where the dirt stains begin. And if you keep dirt piled onto trees like that, I'm trying to get out of the sun. If you keep dirt piled onto trees like that, that tree is going to die. You cannot bury this, what they call the collar of the tree, where it starts to widen out and the feeder roots begin to take root into the ground. So we've really gone around. I mean, the crew did a great job of going around each of these trees and opening up the collar of the tree. So here they've done it as well. And again, if you look at the tree, you'll see dirt stains where it's piled up sometimes 2 feet around a tree. So one of the things we did was get in here and just really significantly, heavily clean out this area. We took away a full dump truck load of debris, stones, and dumped that. One thing, now this is big deal that I've got to point out on this pool. I can't help myself. It's ingrained in me, and I hope those of you that are doing installation of pavers, and especially installation of pavers around swimming pools, will take note of this. And you know, I hate to rip on any one person's job, so I'm not gonna name names or anything, but here's what I wanna show you. This is a troweled concrete edge. These are absolutely horrible. This will never ever be hidden. This edge is going to break. I'm gonna give this edge 6 months. 6 months max, maybe slightly longer. But no, 6 months max is my prediction, because this is so unstable underneath. If I look underneath this here, this is just M10 granite sand that's been built up, and the total overall distance that this has been built up, there's probably 13 inches of elevation change from here down what I would say is every bit of a 45-degree angle to here. It's even worse on this side. This gives you a better idea of what you're looking at. One, the concrete edge is, I mean, these look almost like fingerprints, like somebody took concrete, slapped it on there, and then molded it in with fingerprints. So look at this void in there. I can reach up underneath there, and I'm just removing granite sand. Again, this joint is going to settle, and this is going to crack. All along this joint, it's done the same way. This is just sad, because people invest so much money in their swimming pools, and then they get this. Look at this. I mean, guarantee, again, these are fingerprints. I can run my finger, somebody had, you know, thicker fingers than I do, but look at this. This is already pulling away. If I pulled on that hard enough, this would actually separate and pull away. Support, you know, it's almost straight down. That's steeper than a 45-degree angle. That's actually a 90-degree angle. This concrete should come up at least halfway on the pavers. It shouldn't be there at all. In fact, really, this job should be done with engineered plastic edge restraint. And there should be far more base out here, which means this retaining wall down here should be at least 2 blocks higher, and it's not. So this, if it absolutely had to be concrete, this should be up on the edge of this paver evenly, and you would evenly see this thing troweled down at a 45-degree angle. Really, if this was the actual slope, this base should be built out probably another 2 feet. Should probably come out to about here, and this trowel would come way down, which would also look hideous, by the way, but at least it would provide the right amount of support for this paver. But this paver here, I mean, that is what's holding it in place. I could almost pop my finger underneath here and probably lift it. I'm not gonna do it, but it's all the way along here. This is just barely supporting, but again, look at this paver right here. Right here, we've got one little bit, and you can see this is somebody installing with their fingers, by hand. They did this. They didn't even use a trowel. This is by and far probably one of the absolute worst troweled edge projects that I've ever seen. However, isn't this funny to note? A few feet up, this is nice and smooth. Like, oh, we had the trowel, and then the trowel broke right here, because you can look up, and you can see all this is nice and smooth. So coming down, nice, smooth, smooth, smooth. Still not done correctly because it's paper thin and will break away. But right here is when it went to switch to hand. So look down this edge with me. Let me move this right. Look down that edge with me. Just straight down that edge. It's already uneven, and all of this is going to be undermined in this area. This is going to crack and break along this entire edge, and along, take a 90-degree right turn, it's going to crack and break along that entire edge. Just sad when people are investing the kind of money they're investing in a pool to even see that happening. So day one, when all of this is complete, looks fairly good. Fairly, I say, because on the outside of this, it's hideous. I mean, the goal is to have pine straw here and some plant material, which will do a little bit of cosmetic effect to hide that. But overall, just very poorly built on the pavers. I'm looking over here right now. Here's what I see. Look at this. This whole spot right here. I don't know if you can see it. I wish I could pull like a bubble level up. See that? Like if my hand were flat, there's a gap right under. This goes down, these go down. So right here is the most easiest spot to note this. This edge on the pavers, on the pool decking, is exposed. These pavers should be up right at this level, but they're not. They're down at this level. That means this area is already starting to sink or settle. Let me show you another area that's sinking and settling. Right around the skimmer buckets. Guys, this is where you have to get the pavers really, really smooth, is around these skimmer buckets. But look what's happened. This paver, let me just show you with the skimmer. If this paver were level, look right underneath the skimmer. I should be touching pavers, but I'm not. I've got this air gap right underneath here. I can fit my whole hand underneath it. This should be, the paver surface should be up to this level. So none of this is set correctly. In addition to that, you can see this saw cut mark, this grinder mark. So somebody took the grinding wheel and there's just a grinding mark there. I would have recut a brand new paver to not have that grinding mark. Here, no polymer sand in this joint, none in this joint, no polymer sand right in here, no polymer sand right here, but here there is polymer sand. See that? Polymer sand's in this joint just fine. This next joint over, no polymer sand. Why? I don't know. Should have polymer sand everywhere. I mean, that's how you do it. These are like the little things that you check in on. Again, looking at it this way, you can see a couple different things. Let me, right there. Does that stick out plain as day, that rise? There's a rise, where am I? Right here. You can see that rise. That's risen. See this rise right here? Sure, that's evident. When you put the phone flat, that's evident. I can also see it when I'm standing up. Happens again right here. You know, this is the stone coping right here, stone coping. Oh, I can't bump I bumped my hand there. This should be set about an 1/8 inch lower. This should be set about an 1/8 inch lower. This one is set evenly. This joint is low on polymer sand. This joint is not. So it's just quality of the work that's disappointing to see. Again, I'm not going to name names, but it's just disappointing to see that quality of work when you know that this was not an inexpensive project. But the work we're here to do today is going to be putting pine straw in this bed. We had a proposal on the table for plant material. We're going to do that in the spring. That's been tabled for right now. So one of the main obvious problems as to what is going on here, which, again, I don't know if you can see, but these pavers are just like, whoop, they're just warped all the way down the edge. This retaining wall needed to be higher by 2 blocks. 2 blocks would have been perfect. If you could come up, these are 6-inch blocks, so 12 more inches would have brought us up to about this level, would have created a nice gentle slope. You could have put the engineered edge restraint in there. But when I tell you this thing moves, it comes, it's just coming up, down, up again. That's probably a 3-inch variation from the top of that paver to the top of the paver that's 6 feet away. And then it comes way, way, way back down again. I don't know if you can see how that slope comes down right to this corner, to the troweled edge, back to the hand spackled edge. I don't know what you call it, something like that. They've asked us to sod this. This would be an area in the future that they would like to come back and do 7 evergreen arborvitaes that will be along this side. So we have the sod coming in on this side. And that's really the project. That's how we're going to finish it up. We'll have the sod, we've got the pine straw mulch, and that's how to properly clean a yard, prepare a yard, and install mulch. So hope this video helps you. Have a great day.